This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So I think we need to talk about traveling while being a big guy, big person, traveling while fat.
Traveling while fat. I like that.
Some summer travel maybe coming up.
So traveling in general, when you know you're a regular sized person, can be fraught with danger. But when you're fat, it's a new world.
Yes, a whole nother set of issues and things you need to consider.
Right. So I think we should start with the big one that everybody thinks about and that everyone complains about, and that's flying.
Oh, flying.
So flying while fat is it's not fun. I mean, the airport is usually not fun anyway.
Yes.
Just going through the whole experience.
It's a lot of stress of like getting there on time.
Right.
Do I need to go an hour before or 4 hours before my flight leaves?
Right.
Yeah. That's always I always love that. Like, especially we've moved a couple times. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, this airport, you need to get there really early. This airport, oh, it goes really quick. So you can just kind of drive up, go in, and you're to your gate in no time. But yeah, it's always
my biggest problem is that I usually have a bunch of different things. So I've got my laptop, I've got my clothes. You know, I'm trying to keep them in
like a monkey on your back.
Yeah. And then I've got a CPAP, as I use that every night. So yep. I've got to get I've got to disrobe, then I've got to get the CPAP out, then I've got to get the laptop out.
You just disrobe when you get there.
Totally. I mean,
just
basically,
get naked here.
I wear,
make it easy.
I wear only a thong when I fly, and you know, usually
can't hide much in that.
Right, a thong and sandals, and I think you're good to go.
Flip flops, yeah.
That's all you
flop
need.
Flops, yeah.
Flop flops.
I call them. I don't know. Anyways,
so it's always stressful because you're trying to rush to get everything unpacked and get through security.
Oh yeah, it's weird. Like when we were in Vegas, my partner and I, sometimes they had sometimes you have to take everything out. Sometimes you don't. And it's always like you start like disrobing and they're like, oh no, you can keep your shoes on today. And I'm like,
right. Why?
You're just letting all the shoe bombers through today? What is going on?
It's such a random thing. And like understanding the process there, I don't even try anymore.
No, I don't.
I want to do the TSA pre.
No, that line is always so long.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm like, why are people paying to be in that line?
Wow.
When I can be in this line for free, I guess. But
so isn't the thing with TSA pre that it's like you don't have to take off your shoes and all of that?
I honestly don't know. I just think it's people like to throw more money at the airlines.
Yeah.
Or the airports.
Okay.
Or they think they're special and want to.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm pre-check. Okay, great. I'm glad you paid an extra, whatever, $1,000.
I don't have to wait with the unwashed masses now. Yeah.
The peasants.
Right. Well, so once you get through that and you get through security, you know, you're heading down to.
You don't get a pat down?
No.
Have you ever had one of those?
Always.
Because you get the pat down?
There is always one part of my body that must hold heat. And it's never the same part. So it'll be like my lower back, or it'll be like a leg, or
got a hot lower leg.
Yeah, maybe it's like heat under a roll or something. I don't know. There's always something, and they're like, we're gonna have to pat you down.
I think it's you get like that scanner thing, whatever, the full body scanner. It's when you're bigger, you're closer to the scanning thing, so it doesn't understand it. So it's like. Error, whatever. So it's like, oh, you need to get patted down.
I think that there are less than a handful of times that I've actually gone through without getting the pat down.
Okay.
So yeah, it's always a thing, and I always expect it. So I try to dress light, and I think that would be my first suggestion out of all of this.
Wear a thong.
Yes.
Give them a show. Yeah.
Yes. Be as light as you can when it comes to how you're traveling. What you're bringing
don't
with
wear
you.
your accessories.
Totally.
All the things. Yeah. Just. Slim it down to, I always wear my slip-on shoes.
Right.
And have my better shoes like in my bag. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Totally. So once you get through and then, you're waiting to get on your flight and they start boarding, that's when it gets difficult. Mm-hmm. Because, you're going in, you know that you have to fit into one of these seats.
Well, yeah. And if you need extra time, they normally say people that need extra time, don't be afraid to get up there and get your extra time if you need it.
Absolutely.
Go up there and yep.
Yeah.
I need a little extra time to.
I would like to early board. Yeah. Right. Sometimes they'll let you, sometimes they won't, but it never hurts to ask. Mm-hmm. So my question for you, when you have the option and you're choosing your seat on the flight, where do you like to sit?
I always try to do an aisle seat.
Sure.
I always want to have that extra so I can lean out that way if I need to.
Right.
So give that person that's because I never get the extra seat. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't have the money to do that.
It's
for
expensive.
most airlines. So
yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. So I always get the aisle seat and then I can just lean out a little bit more and I'm fine. Yeah.
I do the same, and I don't have a problem with anybody crashing into me in the aisle. It's okay if they do, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes. You just have to be okay with people bumping into you in those sort of situations and don't get too upset about it. Like, it's going to happen. We're all crowded in this tin can about to get hurled across the face of the earth. So let's just all work together and get this done as easily as possible.
Someone is inevitably going to invade your personal space to some extent. So you just have to be okay with that. And if you're bigger, that's just kind of what it is.
I've never had a bad experience about being bigger in a seat because I am trying to put my body away from them, but there's a sweet old lady. She's like, "Oh, you're fine. You can put you can put your arm there or whatever." Most of the time, I've never had. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had any of those kind of experiences that are like, that really rude.
Right.
You're, when you get there and they're like, "Oh, I'm in the middle seat," and they're like, "Oh." I'm like, well.
So I have not personally experienced this, but I was on a flight a few years ago. It was me and another very well-known plus-size blogger who will remain nameless, who was flying, and someone else happened to was on the flight and was sitting behind this person, and this dude kind of out of nowhere was just like, "Excuse me, can you please move your seat forward? You're taking too much room here."
On a plane?
This person, their seat was not back. There was nothing going on here. It was
back. What?
Yeah, like reclined.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This guy was right behind this person, and it was just the most random thing. And he says this, and the person checks their seat. And the seat's fine. It's forward, and they say that
the fully upright position.
Yeah, and the guy is quiet for a few minutes, and then he goes, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just never mind that. I don't know what I was thinking. It was just so weird and so random, and it was very specifically because this person was much bigger. Yeah, and it was just such a weird, annoying situation. And you could tell other people around us saw this and they were like, okay, what? Yeah. Come on. So I haven't had to deal with that, but I've seen it and it sucks. And there was another blogger out of Dallas that actually got video.
Oh yeah, I think
you
I've
remember
seen that.
The video with the dude was texting to his buddies about how he had to sit by somebody who was really fat, and she confronted him, and I mean, it made the news.
Good for her.
Yeah, right. It's like, we're not trying to take up extra space, but I mean, realistically, we do. And I think when you fly, you have to accept that this is going to happen. Yeah. So
we're all trying to get to our destination as quickly and safely as possible. But
I think we should stop for a second and open this beer.
Ooh, what is it? Do you have a? Oh, I have a.
You do. Oh, let's use yours.
I have a thing.
Yes.
Mosaic hopped cream ale, Bridgeport Brewing.
Bridgeport Brewing here in Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
So, I think the good thing is we're being adventurous with our beer, and we're running the spectrum. We're doing both high end and low end because when it comes
spectrum.
When it comes to beer, you want to try a lot of different things.
All right. I didn't pour the whole thing.
All right.
Save some of it.
Mm. So it's a mosaic hopped cream ale.
Yum.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Got all quiet while we were drinking.
Hoppy.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Creamy? I don't know. Maybe a little. I get a little of that cream ale thing at the end. So
the gum I had is kind of distorting my taste buds. Sorry, guys.
We're very
It's minty. This is
we're very good at describing.
yeah.
these
Our
beers,
descriptors are good.
Yeah.
Hoppy and creamy.
People are going to be like, these are the beers that we stay away from.
Yes, whatever they drink, don't drink.
Right. That's we should probably start listing those things too, just so that if somebody wants to get the beer.
So speaking of the airlines, I did see that Southwest apparently has this customers of size policy. Where you can buy the additional seat and they'll refund it after your flight. But you don't have to jump through all the hoops, I'm sure.
So I have a friend who flies that airline specifically and does that and loves it. It says that it's a great experience.
A thing. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it does cost extra, but you get refunded. So it's something that if
you kind of budget it
right
ahead of time, but then you are going to get it back. So that's kind of nice.
Totally. So that's important to know that there is at least one airline that is thinking about this. So, another thing, and I think you kind of covered this, Jody, already, is that you shouldn't be afraid to ask for what you need.
Yeah.
If you need to, if the flight is open and you can move around and you can get more space, ask or move after the doors are closed, whatever.
Yeah, ask the flight attendant. They're there to make your flight enjoyable as much as possible, as much as they can. So ask for the seat extenders.
Seat extenders are big.
Or the seat belt extenders. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, they have them. So don't feel embarrassed. They're, why do you walk by them and say, hey, can I get a seatbelt extender? And they're fine with that. Or if there's an open row, like, hey, can I sit back there or whatever? There's extra room. Sometimes you can move around in the cabin.
And with the seatbelt extenders, if you want, you can actually buy your own. I know they have them on Amazon.
On Amazon,
kind of
yeah. That might be better. Then you don't have to.
That way, you don't have to ask them. If you have your own, and really, if you can come prepared, as much as you can, it's just easier.
That much easier.
Yeah.
Because they've got a million things going on, anyways.
Right. So
demonstrating how to breathe out of a bag and
yes,
whatever,
all those important things.
Yeah, that nobody ever pays attention to.
So I feel like we've covered a lot with flights and flying while fat. And I think there are probably a lot of other things that you could jump into with this. But I think the big thing is, make sure that you're asking for what you need and make sure that you go prepared just to make it as easy as you can.
And get there earlier, and because sometimes the gates change and you need to huff it all the way to the other end of the airport. So
totally
make sure you give yourself enough time to get there, find your place, because you don't want to be running across the terminal to find your
those walkway conveyor belt things.
I like walking on those. I feel like I'm like the whatever Bionic Man or what was it? $10 million man?
$10 million man?
I don't know. However expensive he was. Anyways.
Yes.
You're like, I'm
totally
Bionic Man.
You just fly along. Yeah. It's great. I would like to have those in everyday life.
Yeah. Can they install those in my hallway?
Right. Right. Just so you feel good for at least a couple seconds as you
look at how fast I'm going.
Right.
Anyways.
So another, I guess, situation that I've run into is when you go to the amusement parks.
Ooh.
So I love
what's your favorite amusement
ride?
Is there just a park?
Well,
do you have a favorite?
My very first job, my first real legit job, was at Six Flags right outside of St. Louis.
Okay.
And
I think I've been to one of those.
I worked in a few different departments, but I started out in food service at Friar Tuck's Turkey Legs.
Yes. Oh, the big. Oh, yeah.
The big turkey legs. It was glorious.
Friar Tuck's.
Yes. Yes. So it was the whole.
Did you have to wear
Sherwood Forest area? I did.
Whatever. A robe.
I was like a fat version of Robin Hood. I had this
Friar Tuck
green.
Aren't you?
Well, you would think so, but they didn't actually put us in the robes. They put us in this green thing with like a
green tights
sash and these. What did we have? Did we have like black pants or something? It was very
not stylish.
Yeah, not stylish. Yeah. So I did that, and I worked in the entertainment division as well. I was. At Six Flags, it's part of they had to deal with Warner Brothers, so they had all these characters and all of that. They would send people out in those, and I did a promotional thing where I was in this giant battery suit for Duracell. It was their battery boy, And they put me in this thing, and it was, I mean, you're from the Midwest, so you know humidity.
Yeah.
And it was August in Missouri, and it was like 105 out. So they would let us go out for 15 minutes at a time. And we would, I'd put on this battery suit, and they had to help me get in it because the front had these little armholes, and like your arms only came out up to your elbow.
Little T-Rex arms.
And they had a little fan inside this thing to help keep you cool. But it was like an off-brand battery instead of a Duracell, which I was in the Duracell battery boy suit. The fan died. You couldn't see anything. It was a horrible experience, but I digress.
Yes.
Six Flags. That was my real first experience with theme parks. And I used to be able to ride the things, but as I got bigger, that was more of an issue. And, those rides are not made for bigger people across the board.
Yeah.
So there have been a couple experiences that I've had, at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter last year.
Nice. How was that?
It was actually really cool.
Yeah.
The whole setup was really neat. But the problem that I ran into is that I could only ride one ride. I did that ride, and then I tried to get on the other, and they have a seat out there, and they're like, if you can fit in this seat, you can ride this ride. So I looked at it, and I thought, okay, I need to do this preemptively to make sure.
Yeah, no sense waiting in the line. And
there's a guy who's standing there, a poor sap who has to deal with everyone's broken hopes and dreams who can't ride this thing. So I sit in the seat. And the guy goes, okay, we're going to pull this down. And he tries, and it's not happening.
Oh, the latch thing that goes down over you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's pulling the latch, and it's just not working. So my wife is like, get out of the way. And she comes in, and she just like starts slamming on it, and it's still not going down.
She's going to make you fit.
She's going to make me fit. And so, she like calls the power of the gods.
Yes.
Lightning comes down. She blasts this thing
Wonder
down.
Woman.
Totally.
Whatever.
Totally. Blasts it down. Still doesn't work.
Oh.
So like, sorry, sir, you're not going to be able to go. So I was.
But you did get to go on one, though?
I did.
Okay.
And my wife was like, see ya. And just,
she left you on the
Totally. But you know what?
Jeez, thanks.
I don't blame her. I mean, we were at Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
So that was my least frightening experience at a theme park. There was another one back in Missouri. There is a theme park called Silver Dollar City, and
that sounds sketchy.
It's like the Old West kind of. It's like this
Silver Dollar City.
I don't know. It's like,
do you have to have a silver dollar to put in the machine?
You would think so. This whole place is set up like it's, I don't know. Let's say 1826. So it's like Frontier Town.
I love that year. That was a good year.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
So you go through this, and there are different rides there, and they have this one that was called like the barn swings, and it's this big long thing where like 40 people sit. It's like you're sitting in a theater. So you've got like seats, rows of seats next to you, and you're sitting here in this thing, and it swings.
Yeah,
it's like a big swing. So I get on it, our whole family was there. My mother-in-law's there. She goes with me on the ride, and she's sitting next to me, pulls the thing down. And it's just a bar, right?
The lap bar, yeah.
Yeah, she pulls the lap bar down. It clicks. I pull my lap bar down. It doesn't quite click. I go, all right, I can do this. That'll be fine. I'm still going to be right here. Well, it doesn't click. It doesn't click. So this thing starts going, and I'm sliding forward out of my seat, and I'm going back.
No.
And I'm sliding forward.
How does it go if it doesn't click?
It
shouldn't.
It doesn't work like that. The Silver Dollar City. I mean, these rides were made in 1826.
Oh, 1826.
So,
Sorry,
yeah. So
personal safety wasn't a big.
I'm looking over at her, and I'm like holding on to her.
Mommy.
Yeah, I'm holding on to her lap bar. Like, all right, when I fall out of this thing, I'm just going to grab onto this.
Sure.
And I just keep, as it goes faster, I'm sliding and I'm moving, closer, and I'm waiting for this thing to catapult me out. And it was horrifying. It was a nightmare experience. Yeah. So since then, I've really been kind of like, I had to reevaluate.
It needs to click.
Is it worth going on these rides if they don't really,
if it doesn't
hold me?
I'm trying to think of
and I could potentially die? Probably not.
No. I just don't do rides in general. I'm a big wuss.
Yeah. Well, it's,
at the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, they have a little sort of kiddie park in the middle. I went on the roller coaster there and was, cause I was like, oh, it's just like it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of a small one. Nope. I was scared. I don't like it at all. I thought that would be like a teaser into the
just not your thing.
No, I did like they have Valley Fair in Minnesota, which was a big thing. They had like a big water park and stuff like that. So I'd always go to the water park while most people went on the rides and stuff. But,
Sure.
yeah. And the lazy river kind of floating around. But that was what I would do instead of crazy rides.
I find that as I get older, those things affect me more, like flying when you're taking off and all of that. I'm less comfortable with it.
Oh, you're less comfortable?
Yeah. And like, I don't know if so for example, I was in a pool and I decided to do a flip, and I did this flip and my equilibrium was just totally off and I thought I was going to die. I was just like, oh, so I don't know why that is. I don't know.
You don't do flips very often. You have to do them more.
Apparently I need to build up my flip tolerance.
So, yep.
I don't know, but no, I get it. And I think amusement parks are probably out. Somebody needs to build an amusement park that fits plus size people.
Fat park. Yeah.
Fat park. I think there we go.
There, done.
There
you go, world.
Fat park.
I guess I
2018.
better trademark that.
Yep.
So what else? So we did planes. What about trains? Have you been on a train?
Like local transit, that kind of thing. I mean, if you try to ride
Like light rail or subways and stuff.
Yeah, the seats are not made. I mean, you're crushing yourself to the wall if you're willing to touch the wall. Then, I usually just stand. I find it's easier to kind of stand and sort of stay out of the way. And
I normally am okay on public transit. I do a lot of public transit, so I'm
right.
I think that's at least we don't have like turnstiles. I don't do like subways. I haven't done that. But I'm sure that might be a problem trying to get through some of that. Those turnstiles that I've seen in the movies or whatever, like in New York or whatever, you have to go through the turnstile.
So when we filmed last year in New York, it was my first time there, and we did a subway segment, and I had to turn a little to get through
turn to the side and kind of squeeze through.
Yeah, things just aren't made for bigger people.
Yeah.
So
but it worked. I mean, you got through, and but they have they have a door or something to get?
I think they do.
Like
people with disabilities. Yeah, right.
They must have a way to.
I think that. Yeah, I think
through.
they do.
Yeah, they must.
Yeah,
I just never look for it, I guess.
So, transit is just one of those things. It's just when you're around a lot of people anyway, it's difficult.
Yeah, again, bumping into people, you just gotta be okay with it to a point. I mean, if there's that creepo,
right?
Like, why are you standing so close and just bumping into me for no reason?
Right. Exactly.
You'd be like, can you back up?
Please get off me, sir.
Get off me, sir.
Yeah. Even riding in cars for some people, I know that's that can be an issue if you're
road tripping.
Yeah, if you're a much larger person, sometimes the seatbelts won't make it around you. Those are issues that
or getting in your friend's Mazda Miata.
Totally. Little cars.
What, we're really taking this. Can we not take the little bitty sports car?
Right.
When you're driving me around? Because I don't want to feel like, but just like getting in and out of those little cars is just not fun for me. Because we're in like a little SUV type thing normally.
Oh, yeah.
So you just kind of step in a little bit, you just kind of get in. But getting crouching down to get in this car and then like climbing out, I was like, this is not a fun car. This is,
right.
I feel like I'm going to die the whole time.
And it can go both ways, where you're in like a little car that's low to the ground, or for some people, like getting into a Jeep, trying to climb over that thing.
Up into those lift kit truck things that are parked in the handicap spot. I don't get that.
Right.
Anyways.
Totally. I don't know. I wonder if there are seatbelt extenders for cars. I feel like maybe that's something that they would make.
They must.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking you can buy the plain ones, but I don't think the clips things are the same.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that technology.
Yeah.
It's beyond me.
Wondering what that is. And I mean, there are certainly vehicles that are better and more roomy for bigger people. So
get the Escalade.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Just something larger, something more roomy that allows you to fit. I think traveling is, like I said, fraught with frustrations,
but I love traveling.
It's exciting. It's worth it. Yeah.
I did find this. I don't know what it's called exactly. The Resort for You in the Bahamas. Apparently, it's a resort specifically. Everything is tailored for big people.
Really,
they have like big chairs that are like rated for certain weights. They have bigger beds, they have better bed frames. they have like everything is specifically designed for big people, which I think we need to take a big trip down there and check it out. But
the heavy conversation, I was going to say road trip, but you can't road there. So.
Nope, not to the Bahamas, I don't think.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure that out.
The seas are rising, not like going down.
True.
So,
True. That's awesome, though, that there is a place that thinks about
right
that.
now, I think there was a TLC, not documentary, whatever, series, and they did a little thing about them. So I want to kind of check that out. But if everything's kind of rated, bigger people, all that kind of stuff, I thought was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. And cruises, I know that the Curvy Fashionista, who is a plus-size blogger, plus-size website, they're doing a cruise. So there are plus-size cruises.
Have you ever been? I've never done a cruise.
I've done one cruise. I did a cruise back in 2004 and basically went by myself just because I wanted to go on a cruise.
Yeah.
My friend fell through. So it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. I mean, roomy, very easy to be out there and just be kind of comfortable. Mm-hmm. So
the rooms are decent size. I mean, did you have a decent?
I was in the smallest room and it was fine. It was
the one that's way below deck,
right? With no windows.
No windows.
Yeah. So it was that, but I mean, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
What was that guy's name from Titanic? Was that Jack?
Jack. Yes.
Yeah, Jack. Down there.
I was definitely not thinking about any of that.
No.
Although the last day,
I would not be thinking about that. That's all I would be able to think about.
That's all. No, it was really cool. I mean, it was like being in a huge building. They had a movie theater.
Yeah. They have all those rides and
all that crazy stuff.
That seems weird to me.
The last day, so I smoked a Cuban cigar because they sold them at the time outside of when you were out of the U.S.
Yep.
And that was a bad idea because it was powerful and it made me really sick. And so I could feel the waves and everything.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I had to go lay down. The last day was super windy. But I mean, in general, it was a great experience. So I would definitely do it again.
Yeah.
Without
I think
smoking.
they have big cruises or like cruises that are like a bunch of big people go on, I think. And we'll have to maybe put a link to the Curvy Fashionistas.
Yeah.
Their cruise that's coming up. But yeah, always wearing comfortable shoes is a big thing for traveling. Make sure you have your comfy shoes when you're going to be walking a lot. You don't always get to wear the really stylish, cool looking ones when you're going to be doing a bunch of walking when you're traveling and stuff. So
worry about function.
Yeah.
Over
comfort,
style.
function over. Yeah. That's important.
Right.
Oh, and the Chub Rub sticks. Have you ever used those lotions or salves and stuff? Like, I think that's important too.
Yeah.
And you're going to be, I mean, like, I don't know where you travel to, but I like to do exploring the city and walking around and
totally
getting the natural, not just the touristy stuff all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually experiencing
what the locals might experience instead of just
when you're doing that, you're building up a little friction. So it is nice to have something like that helps deal with Chub Rub or
getting the good bearskin underwear underneath your clothes.
Exactly.
Little plug.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, I think that was quite a bit of stuff about traveling.
It was. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are things that we missed, and if there is anything that we missed, any tips, suggestions, ideas that you have,
or places that you've been,
things that work for you when you travel, let us know. Hit us up on social and let us know what works for you and what you do, what you don't, those kind of things.
Where you go, where you don't want to go again.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.